very important set. Such issues come up Ghana for who what actually so. And per analysis solutions or say about 5,000 people outstanding more in 2024 August
yeah
besin there omunsanka salary omunya clearance and staff ID kran omunsanka bi so we system now yes you can blame but the individual teacher now no okujina classroom or chira there for the past 4, 5 to 10 months in the sanka salary you need to empathize with that person or besides crime ben or faswa or survival barring all these systemic infractions this kind of anomalies in I think there should be a way the GS and the Ghana the Ministry of Education a bit me faso no me rectify whatever the challenges Emma amount for enco pikete because desperation and anger and a for ISA. And this particular thing you see, several other sectors. I have friends who are medical doctors. I almost started somewhere last year. Or more year, or more your friends a housemanship job. Yeah. They've been at the ground for almost 7 good months in here. No clearance, nothing. Until which means also you are not being paid, nothing. Won't fail form beer. It's a big challenge. So the question is, for instance, obiti akra or yen housemanship, your friends say kolebu, ebi making otetema. Every blessed day, nobody is giving you a pin for almost 8 to 9 good months in here. Ask yourself, as a normal, reasonable human being, say, how would that person survive? What I say? Yeah. So I think some of these things, should motivate us to quicken the process just to ensure, say, if we are ready to put people out there to go and work here immediately, processes must quickly advance just to ensure, say, after 1 month, 2 months, we need to process and get them their salary. We often sit here and talk about corruption at the workplace. When we say corruption in Ghana, but be a worker in the public sector. And you know why? It's because of sometimes some of these challenges. For teacher for you who are not tried 6 months, 8 months, I and at the schools, they will find a way to survive. You understand? So I know that the burden ever shifted to the ordinary person out there. So for me, I think I've seen a lot of release, a lot of talk about discussions in the major problem is there is a problem. Individuals, whether it is the fault of theirs or whatever, the question is, are they teaching? Yeah. Are they rendering services that are required of them? Because without the staff ID, that is the identity you need for every document processing at the Offense Control and Accountant General Department. That is the identity of here and Sana. So say you issue clearance. That's what when your staff idea. What at all is the problem? And Lucius can say a bit more high or Monsabeka or more pay slip. But everybody is empty. Because to get a pay slip, it means every independent clearance and I was seeing your offense staff ID. So it means that these are normal infractions. A work system, somebody need to rectify. Because me, I sympathize with individuals. A crazy baby, and Sikai will be here. For almost 10 good months, nobody is paying you. And we think those things are normal. There are people who have worked for 6 good months. Obia working for 10, and I'm telling you, several other areas as I name away. So as a country, if we are growing, I think we need to devise mechanisms just to ensure things like this, you bet me I resolve, but very often you buy any good near man so now ababa you now no say Bank of Ghana. I throw letter Babon Tia, Nipa no more far more before elected December. Yes, we know appointment terminated. Yeah. You see, on moral grounds, you must say, I'm a Ghana for I didn't know buying beer banner all of a sudden. But Uber comes, many partner or employ people at the time who defy the moral principles. Because you see, you are talking about we want to lose the election. Common sense, and on the your friends, principles of morality, to tell you, if only you think that you are servicing a nation, you should know that putting over 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people on a particular place, At the end of the day, isn't going to augur well with the government that is coming.
We are 12,807.
No, Bank of Ghana, okay, then America.
Okay.
What I say, at the end of the day, the decision is let us staff the place. The problem. Now vacancies now. Accommodate, but and this thing happened at Cocoa Board. Cocoa Board, staff no do so change work in our house of Mugiano. What I say, and see the question is, I buying Sako, I buying back, and I wonder why we cannot be bold and address. So because some of these things are challenges. The major problem has to do with the Transition Act, because the Transition Act creates a vacuum. And that vacuum is what guarantees some of this nonsense among 4 years because you lose power. So I didn't say the Transition Act and say whether we create a freeze period and now say a certain regulatory mechanism be in place just to ensure say a binding within that period, something has to be done so far as appointment and recruitment is concerned. Abina Okono, Ajamoni when the Timor to the sense a fair or best salmon for their goom, and they cow goose wako. Abina Obanos about any pay the money is available. So I cannot pay them. Then you have to sack them. At the end of the day, the person at the center, they are Ghana and any poor person, be a crowd, be a bribe, not nakotum, a more life, and I hear torso in the name of this dirty politics. I hear. So for me, I think that there are a lot of structural weaknesses. We as a people no bet me address it, and this particular Transitional Act here make this lacuna, this infraction, this loopholes na woman. It give you the outgoing president the man the room to be doing all these things. Cocoa board mulusu aba omokono, MPP lusu aba omokono, and I hear cry jute sacks. I'll be here in the next 10 years and a contract that man for Montomé Guho. Which means that the mindset isn't about chichiro money. The mindset is always about satisfying your friends, your cronies, your allies, just to ensure that we make money. Because Obia will lose about Wukofie. Due sack, their warehouse Cocoa board will need about 5 years to finish it. Nakwabrane say, ye lose abana ye kofie minto bingum. And Sanyama way happen several other sectors. ECG is the same thing happened there.
And unfortunately, ECG promote frustration on people.
Yes.
Oh, how money to do lights, to do canal run from here, the bills
and say the same thing. And you see,
what is this?
Somebody called me from ECG, the main way or catch them say, are you aware, sir? Oko ECG. Our customers now that flat rate is now as I will meet us say, and Yanyan is saying. Ebia bosume na ya ma se bia betua 500 Ghana ebia bosume betua we 300 Ghana we betua 10,000. Do you know that some of the big hotels are Okroma at this particular rate so
can you imagine
also meter say and it's been running for 1 year and do you know what is happening for the past 4 months in here say oh yeah your friend is saying hotel what that flat rate so now so what time sika say oh bosume bia say metua 20,000 ebi metua 20,000 or time sika na dey call ECG almost say your system na you bintifa kofi achi dey ba beje and for the past 4 months in the ECG is not collecting that money. I'm telling you this is a company or see or the neka gumi so people are paying flat rate and you can call anybody on flat rate okwa omonye almost for sika no kofi
I know of that
because almost payment system but you need to devise a way because nipa na or no running hotel or tuaka 20,000 a month okasa on fa sika no kofi na ko brobro so 5 months the person will get 1 billion for you. This is common sense. The person will not get 1 billion for you. So at the end of the day, a baba yeka, nipari disikana ba. You need to devise some kind of ingenuity, even if you think your payment platform is a problem. That is why we put people there to think. Immediately now, you should be able to devise. Akwese wako ngurem na usumfidie na abuano ba ose kominyan sumfidie ni we misum ya waba. What kind of nonsense is this? You understand? And yet the level of incompetence and the inefficiencies choking state institutions and state enterprises is so astonishing and very embarrassing. And very often the very people there, they don't suffer the consequences. Do you know why? Because at the end of the day, they take their fact salaries conferences or Dubai conference. Conferences yet plane ticket conference because of this structural weaknesses and inefficiencies in the system. I know the day na ya bure katwitwiri dia gu ho na ya pass ya ma me mansa ono te market na makola woman na ono ye no ori na etua.
Endra, sad story on ECG. Somewhere ewo win. that is Enchi area muhonomo. What one man as all the Kabe be at 300 Ghana. They are still using the old meter. What the Kabe 300 Ghana, 500 Ghana. Near ECG for about never be 2 meter and near the co.
So I think, sir, you see, Meshadana widen the scope across all sectors just to give you a bigger picture of how our inefficiencies are choking their governance in the way architecture and that one. And for me, I think, sir, we need to be very proactive and very confrontational, making sure that we deal with some of these things in a very aggressive fashion. And yes, sir, you will try, we will move nowhere. Another day, few people, some misguided, twisted minds, we have opportunity to be in position of power. No? You use that as an opportunity. They will rather enrich themselves, and the poor masses, the entire governance system is supposed to advance their life and their welfare. No, will always be poor forever. And if you look at all the indices, track it to know whether there's been improvement in the life of the average and the ordinary Ghanaian, you see there is nothing. And to Chroma Yeti, whenever people are talking big economics and as far human development index, nobody mentions it. You can GDP, you can say GDP now, GDP no. Companies no more Chroma, foreign companies. They repatriate everything and go. Over Chroma, South Africa companies are Chroma Hafa. Ubenya your friend is saying ukọ more ha ubenya kese bi wo ho omo from saying Shoprite ubenya Absa Bank ya abai ubenya MTN big companies, and another day when they come here and they make money, they take all the monies away. Ghana for South Africa Redemption Hwan Church Jesus Center we don't export companies out. Sorry abrofo heaven. Sometimes way. So that is the mentality, you understand. So I think time as one as a broadly. Now you share all these structural weaknesses, Now you making sure you dealing with, and another day there must also be consequences. Spell it out to individual. And for me, I think in public service, I dear for feeling like a because there are no whipping mechanisms in place. There are no punitive sanctions, consequences that are meted out to individuals. So I know the worst that can happen is a mikofie. But say I am very strict. We are making sure that because of some inefficiencies, be individuals be so boom when you go so because say you turn your friend is saying national security for your proper audit. Individuals no do good flat rates, go because it's not supposed to be permanent. And if, because so what problem would meet within the space of 3 months, ECG should be able to come and change that meter for you and put you on the proper way. But some have been on it. Go and check. Oh yeah, big hotels. Your political meter crowd or big companies. So at the end of the day, average Ghanaian not in the baby never catch and say ECG the car, power sector the car, energy the car, and the Pierre car goes. Do you think the person will be comfortable? No, I think the citizens are always ready to help, but it depends how I or never. The last time I catch South Korea or my move for now, way for good, way for the sick away, they line up in the streets of so government major music from because they know say you have good intentions. You want to do the right thing, but in our situation, you cannot say the same thing. When state-owned enterprises can fly, your friends are board members, management members, you go Dubai, a bit more your friends are board meeting, like for what reason? And these things are happening. So you can do your underground way. You see most of the company over the years, that is what they've been doing. And these things are possible because of the structural inefficiencies in so I think where air cost with the teachers, yes, you can blame them for whatever picketing and so forth. But you see me, I understand the frustration. I pity them because I know what it takes to work for almost 6 to whatever 7 to 8 good months.
1 year.
Yeah. I know the day no. Udi ho agba babo siasa na bosia no benya bimpo dia na babo. Babo siasa sika na baba no na afi ababa ya asem foforo. I think we must begin to incentivize these young people to see say life in Ghana no, it's not about just joining political parties and then as a forum na obeye we answer what me bibi. That is why everybody is joining the political bandwagon because him say oba na obey DCB obey we and there kwan bia ma no. But who are who and there adwuma or the public because at the end of the day and then the economy no e grow. My culture say oba aban adwuma mu a teachers, nurses, your friends, the police officers, they do not actively and as directly no make contribution to the growth or more they offer third-party services, but the workforce that should be the focus. Now you drive this level of ingenuity and the emerging technology because maybe we are still through and technology in advanced to it. Advanced will be pay system. Now say Nidia copy baby me.
All right.
How possible? So I think that we can address some of these challenges, and for me, it's me yes and we will not be coming doing this back and forth. And I know the day we're going nowhere.
Of course, it looks like Ghana for Nakasa we are living on life support. So almost every day they see a pass of rubber. Now this is a letter earlier Captain interview had, so I'll not go into details of that letter, but more particulars of that particular letter and audit service for social response of Monday by now. So okay, page 3 of the letter now, it has indicated various account numbers are yet transfer sika unauthorized transfers edukogu one. Nina, it's about 6 different accounts amounted to 52 billion 537 175,777.13 Ghana cedis. That is the total. I have transferred the various accounts. One account number baku 10111 300 26299. I have Ghana Commercial Bank account number. Transfer number 10180. There's another transfer number of transactions. Nina Ohana Muse. It's account numbers no Ohana Muse. And I war accompanied with the account number.